Have you ever wondered what buyers and sellers want the most out of an agent like you when they hire you to buy or sell their home? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down 3 of the most important things to buyers and sellers when they're choosing an agent like you. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 most important things to buyers and sellers when they're choosing an agent like you. The first one is they want an agent that is trustworthy and honest. The Gallup poll did a study of the most ethical and honest professions out there, and nurses and doctors consistently come in at the top. Real estate agents kind of come in towards the bottom middle, and telemarketers and salespeople, like car salespeople, come in at the very bottom. So when you're out there selling, you really want to come across as trustworthy and honest, and there's a few things that I want to talk about that you can do to do that. The first one is to really be helpful, not really focusing on like a persuasion and selling and sales tactics. So instead of doing objection handlers and hard sales or pushy sales tactics, focus on helping them solve their problems. If you think about it, doctors and nurses are perceived differently because they're viewed more as an advisor, more as somebody who's there to help them. Where salespeople are viewed as a pushy salesperson. Why are car salespeople near the very bottom of the list, along with telemarketers? Is because people don't want to be pushed into a sale. And whenever that happens, they don't trust the people that are selling to them. So the higher you can get in being viewed as trustworthy and honest, the more likely you are to close more sales. One of the best ways to be viewed as trustworthy and honest is to continually provide value. And a great way to do that is to have your very own real estate book. If you want to learn how you can get your very own real estate book and use it to generate more business, go to Authorify.com/free to check it out and learn how it works. Now let's talk about reputation. Reputation is one of the things that's really important to buyers and sellers, and how they perceive you is important. So the definition of reputation, just to kind of refresh our memory, is the beliefs or opinions that are generally held about somebody. So you want people to perceive you as reputable, as experienced, as trustworthy, as honest, etc. So here's some ways to do that. One is to continually provide value and help people, especially people you've helped in the past. What they say about you and what they say to their friends, their families, or people that they refer to is super important. Even when you're working with a cold lead that may have never heard about you, when you can go out there and show that you're trustworthy, a great way to do that is to talk to your past customers, maybe a buyer or seller you've worked with in the past, and to document their story of maybe their frustrations or their problems or their challenges that you helped them overcome. You know, if you worked with a for sale by owner, for an example, and they tried to sell their home alone before you listed their home, you could talk about their struggles with selling their home, and maybe they listed it for less as a for sale by owner and you got them a higher price because of your marketing and getting it on the MLS and getting it exposed to more buyers. Well, if you told that story, that's a way to kind of pass your reputation onto a cold lead. Let's say you have a FSBO campaign or an expired listing campaign or a campaign going out to people who've never heard of you before. Well, spread your reputation by sharing success stories about people who've worked with you in the past. Think of it this way. When somebody goes out there and says, I'm number one, or I'm the best agent, you should use me, it sounds like it's bragging. And people have a hard time believing somebody if they're saying something about themselves. But when somebody else has good things to say about you, it's going to boost your reputation. It's way more believable. People are more likely to trust something that someone else has to say that's positive about you than what you have to say about yourself that's positive. Just think of a friend or family or somebody you've dealt with in the past that just sat there and bragged and bragged and bragged, and you're just rolling your eyes like, what in the world? This person is absolutely full of it. You know, we've all had that experience, right? But imagine if that same person wasn't in the room and somebody else was telling you about how amazing she or he was and how they are amazing at selling homes and they get you the best price if you're selling, or they help you negotiate the best deal for your buyer. That's what you want. And your past clients and people you've worked with that will say that about you is really powerful. It's one of the best ways to boost your reputation to people who have never heard about you. And then obviously for people who are like referrals. When your sphere of influence, your past customers, people you've worked with say positive things about you and refer you, you're going to get more business, and you're going to already have a good chance of working. That person's going to have a good chance of working with you because somebody else had really good things to say about you. One of the best ways to boost your reputation is to take your client success stories and either mail them out in a brochure or put them into like a book like we do at Authorify. It's a really good way to just plant that you're reputable, you're knowledgeable, and you know your stuff. If you want to see how you can get your own book and how you can add your client success stories to it, go to authorify.com/free to try it out. Absolutely free, no strings attached. Check it out. Now let's talk about experience. So between trustworthy, reputation, and experience, this accounts for over 51% of what buyers and sellers view as the most important things when they're selecting an agent like yourself. So let's talk about experience. How can you make sure that people view you as an experienced agent, as a trustworthy one, as a knowledgeable one in the industry? Well, there's a few different ways to do that. One way is to prove that you're experienced by continuing to provide helpful information that will help a buyer or seller make a better buying decision. We live in the information age, and buyers and sellers are looking at Zillow, Realtor.com, YouTube, Google, trying to figure out how to determine what their home is worth, what's the best way to sell, how to review agents. You know, Zillow and these reviews have become more powerful than ever when they're selecting an agent because, I mean, think about it this way. When you go to Amazon and buy a product like myself, what is the most important to you, the price or the reviews? If the price and the reviews don't line up, I'm not buying the product. That's at least me, and I believe a lot of people are like me. That's why reviews are so important. The other ways is to provide case studies or information about how you can actually help somebody with a challenge or a problem that they're facing. Think of it this way. Every single buyer and seller has questions about buying or selling that are really, really easy for you to answer. But they may not give you the opportunity to answer those questions if they don't even know you exist. So if you go out there and you put that information out in blogs, on social media, and emails, and you're continually educating your sphere of influence, people that you're working with, leads, and you're constantly out there providing value, helping them make more informed decisions, and showing your experience by just proving it. You know, if somebody's constantly calling you saying, hey, when are you going to list your home with me? Or hey, what are you going to buy? Or if they call you instead and say, hey, listen, I know you're struggling with making this decision on which home to buy right now. Let me send you some helpful information. I have a really helpful article I'm going to send your way that I wrote a year ago that really helped Bob and Cindy. They loved it. It helped them decide which home to buy, and they got off the fence and they made an offer, and they are thrilled with their new home. In fact, I'll include a testimonial from them that talks about their experience in this challenge that you're having, and you can just listen to them because they walked a mile in your shoes. Well, how powerful would that be? Or if you're working with a seller or a for sale by owner and you're like, listen, realtors sell homes for more money than people sell without an agent. And I have an interesting article and it explains what I do and how I do it differently. And even if you don't use me, if you go out and do this, that, and the other, when you're selling your home, you're going to get more money for it. Well, what are you now viewed as? You're viewed as a knowledgeable, trustworthy, experienced agent that is there to provide value and help. It completely turns selling on its head. And it goes back to what we started this video on, which is when people trust you, they want to do business with you. Going back to the Gallup poll, why do people trust nurses and doctors? Because they advise, they solve problems. Why do they not trust car salespeople? Because everybody's been to a car dealership, or at least most of us, and had a really bad experience where we had horrible sales tactics pulled on us that we all knew were absolute BS. So who would you rather be? The trusted advisor and perceived and viewed as trustworthy, honest, ethical, experienced, and also with a great reputation? Or would you rather be viewed as that sleazy car salesperson or that telemarketer that everyone hates talking to? For me, I know I'd rather be viewed as an authority, as an expert, as a consultant, and I'll bet you do too. If you want to see how one of the best ways to do that with a book, you want to check it out, go to authorify.com/free. You can try it out. It's one of the most powerful methods that I've ever used and had the experience of working with. And check it out. You may like it, may not. Regardless, I hope this video was helpful to you. If you liked it, please do me a huge favor. Give it a thumbs up, like it for me. subscribe to get more videos like this, and leave a comment in the comment box. Tell me what you thought of this video. Did you have any questions, any thoughts? Think I'm off on anything? Have opinions you want to add to it? Post them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.